Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got a bombshell of a report about the Department of Energy and something the mainstream media simply won't tell you. Well, the Federation of American Scientists have taken it upon themselves to request via FIOA, a Freedom of Information Act, documents pertaining to the Department of Energy. What documents did they request? Well, they requested to see if the DOE was doing any experiments on humans. And lo and behold, thus came back a document with over a dozen, or exactly a dozen, experiments that were being conducted on humankind. Now, I want to take you straight to the website so you can see it for yourself. It is on fas.org. Now, you can see it goes on to talk about a dozen classified programs that involved research on human subjects were underway last year at the Department of Energy. Human subjects research refers broadly to the collection of scientific data from human subjects. This could involve physical procedures that are performed on the subjects, or simply interviews, or even other forms of interactions with them. Now, little information is publicly available about the latest DOE programs, most of which have opaque, non-descriptive names such as Tristan, Idaho Balef, and Moose Drool. But a list of the classified programs was released this week under FIOA. Now, here is on the screen the actual document that was released, and you can see a dozen unusual codenamed experiments that were being conducted, and even with the 2018 year date stamp on some of them. Now, each of those experiments show anywhere between 4 participants to even 40 participants to even 100 different human subjects, for a cumulative total of around 300 participants. Now, here's the thing that they're not telling you about those specific experiments. They're not telling us what kind of experiments were conducted, who exactly or why they were conducted, if they were interviews, if they were, actual radiation style experiments. Nobody really knows. They're really vague and opaque. But here's the truth. The truth is that many experiments have been conducted on the population for many, many years. In fact, about 25 years ago, and I'm going to reference my notes for this one, but the Atomic Energy Commission was busted by Eileen Wellsome. She was a writer for the Albuquerque Tribune, and she discovered that they were doing human experiments using radiation on people, and they were people who did not consent to these experiments, and that's exactly who they were using. Now, as a result of what she discovered, Clinton formed a presidential advisor committee to look into these findings. Now, I'm going to throw up that actual committee so you can see it, but it's on Bioethics Archive, and it's Advisory Committee on Human Radiation Experiments. You can see it was created by Clinton in 1994 to investigate and report on the use of human beings as subjects of federally funded research using ionizing radiation. Now, like I said earlier, they discovered this was going on. It was proven that they used people who were not consenting, and they actually used this ionizing radiation on people. As a result, that panel required later for even the Atomic Energy or the Department of Energy to submit to them any future experiments. And thus, here we have this document. I want to throw it up one last time on the screen, where it has a dozen different experiments that are being conducted on humanity here in 2018-2017. As you can see, those were being conducted by the Department of Energy. Not my documents, not my words, but those are the actual facts, and they're all going to be linked below. But as I stated earlier, these experiments and similar experiments have been done on the population for many, many, many years. Some of the earliest that I know of go all the way back to the 1900s, all the way through to today. And as you can see, they're going behind me on the screen. And what I'm going to do is I compiled a list of about 100 of these things, and they're in the description box below. You can click the link at the top, and that'll take you to a full list, which I've compiled and used hyperlinks so you can read each and every single one of the experiments that the government and different agencies, from the Agricultural Department Department to the private sector to the United States CIA, FBI, to MK Ultra. All kinds of different experiments were conducted on humanity. Agent Orange, experiments during Vietnam. There is tons of them, but each one has an article linked to it so you can do the research and discover for yourself what's really going on. And in fact, on my channel, I've brought this up on numerous occasions. But the fact of the matter is they're still doing it today, which is what I've brought up before. Now, whether or not these come out to be pretty crazy experiments or just simple ones, I guess time will only tell. Anyhow, I guess the ultimate decision is yours. What do you think about it? Is it something we should worry about, not worry about? Is it anything to do with a do? Well, you're the end decider on that. With that, don't forget to check out my partner at Trump Coin 2020. You can see the coin behind me. This thing is amazing. And again, if you plug in the code Lisa, you get $5 off immediately. But this is amazing. I'm going to be buying one, just an alert to all my friends out there for Christmas, because I think they're cool and they're 0.999 silver, and you can obviously trade them in later as well if you ever want to do that at a silver gold shop. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven. If you like what you heard, share it on all your social media outlets, give me a thumbs up, and comment below. Signing out.